Welcome everyone. Welcome live and in the recording. So as I said, I'm Nadine, and this is going to be a 30-minute class where we focus on glutes and legs all around, hips. So what you need is ideally a mat if you have one. If you don't have one, put a towel down or a blanket down in your space so you have some cushioning for your spine. And then also have a yoga block if you have one. If you don't have one, you can go without, or you could use for certain things a pillow or also a book or something like that, a pillow and a book. If you want, as at the end, I will give you the option to use some weights if you have light weights, but that's totally optional. You can do everything without weights. All right, let's get started. So we're gonna start on our backs with some breathing. So come to lay down and just have your feet on the floor, knees bent, arms by your side. And take a few deep breaths. So you're inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the mouth. Right, and you can make a sound with your exhale. That's how we breathe in Pilates. So we inhale through the nose and we exhale out the mouth. And just right away feel your rib cage move as you breathe. So as you inhale, your ribs are opening to the side and down into the floor. And then as you exhale, feel the rib cage drawing towards the center. And you can draw your belly button towards the spine. Then again, inhale and exhale. And then we're gonna add the arms. So reach your arms up to the ceiling. My palms are facing in towards one another. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, drop your ribs towards the floor and reach your arms up overhead. As far as you can go, you may touch the floor, you may not. And then inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling again. And then again, you reach your arms up as you exhale, keeping your ribs down and on the floor. And so I'm trying to move just my arms and my shoulders without moving the ribs. Just one more time like that. And then we're gonna add on. So now change your arms in a way, they're up to the ceiling, but your palms are facing away from you. Take a deep inhale. This time as you exhale, you're gonna press your arms down and lift your head, neck, and shoulders off the floor. Draw your belly button down, your ribs in, and then inhale, roll yourself back. You reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, press your arms down and curl up. So we're just warming up the core a little bit here. So as you're exhaling, active in the arms, press down and press the belly button down towards the floor. Last 2 times. Notice if you're gripping in your butt, right? Or if you're tucking your tail, can you let that go? Can you relax your butt? Last time, and you're gonna stay up here in your curl, and then just lift your right knee up into a tabletop, and then the left knee up. And then put the right foot softly down, and the left foot down. And then go with your left. Lift it up, and your right. Softly place that left foot down, place that right foot down. One more time each side. Lift your right foot up, your left foot up. Your shoulders are relaxed, right? Your belly buttons keeps drawing in. Left knee up, right knee up. Keep your legs up, and then grab your right shin with both arms and extend your left leg forward, hovering off the floor. We'll go into some single leg stretches to warm up the hips and the core a little more. Elbows are wide. Take an inhale, and then exhale, draw your right knee in, stretch your left leg long, and then switch. And I like to exhale with the stretch, inhale with the switch. So you can use that breath, or you can breathe in any other way. Right? If you feel like you don't need the support of your arms on your shin, you can also just keep your arms by your side. It will make it a little more challenging. Or you can bring one hand or both hands behind your head if you need some support for your neck. Right? We'll have the last 2, last 1. And then relax your head for a moment. Keep your knees there into your chest. And then extend your right leg up to the ceiling and your left leg forward, hovering off the floor. We'll go into some scissors. Grab your right leg and walk your hands up the leg. right? As high up as you can. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders off the floor. Draw your belly button in. Inhale. Exhale, pulse, and switch. So 2 pulses. Inhale, switch. Exhale, pulse. Right? And you decide how much you use your arms for help here. Right? You could do this with your arms by your side again. You can also do this with one or both hands behind your neck. Or if you need a little bit less challenge, release your head to the floor and just work your legs. So we're getting a stretch and some core work here at the same time, right? Stretching your hamstrings. And the legs are super active. Last 2 times. And the last round, one more time each side. And then release your head down, release your feet down. Take a moment, take a break. Grab your yoga block if you have one. If you don't have one, grab a pillow or something that you can squeeze between your inner thighs. I'm going to take my block the skinniest way between my inner thighs. Reach your arms straight out to the side like a T, and then lift your legs up into a tabletop. Now, this time I want you to press your lower back down into the floor and your belly button down. Keep that as you let both legs go to the right. Keep your left shoulder on the floor, and then bring your knees back. Press that low back into the floor, belly down, and then let the knees go to the left. Keep your right shoulder on the floor. And then from your center, from your belly, right, pressing the lower back, belly down, bring the knees back. Right, so you bring your knees back by using your core. You can think about lower back pressing down into the floor, and that brings your knees back to center. And it's just kind of using your obliques here. So tapping into your obliques a little bit, and you're squeezing that block with your inner thighs. Keeping the arms, shoulders really heavy, last time each side. And last time to the left. And then come back to your center. Keep that block or pillow between your legs and place your feet down. We'll go into some bridging from here. So your arms can come down to the floor to start. Squeeze your block or pillow a little bit so you're feeling your midline, right? Arms rest on the floor, and then from here tuck your tail and then press into both feet to lift your hips up. Right? Reach your knees across the room. Keep your ribs hugging in, your belly hugging in. And then lower your hips down to the floor. And then again, press into your feet, squeeze your block, roll up and roll down. See if you can go vertebra by vertebra up and vertebra by vertebra down, articulating through the spine. Make sure your glutes are working, right, to lift your hips up and to lower down. We just have one more here. And then lower down. Now take your pillow out or your block out. If you have a book here, you could use a book. Or nothing at all if you don't want to use anything, but if you have something, a block or a book, place it under your right foot. It's going to go into the right glute a little more, right leg. So make sure your heel is definitely on the block. Your toes may fall off, that's fine. But have your heel rooting down. And then we're going to roll up in this position, right? Try to get your hips parallel to the floor, even though your feet are not on an even surface. Press into your right foot a lot. Keep hugging the midline with your inner thighs, like you still had a block between your inner thighs, and lift your left knee up into tabletop. If that is too much, keep your left toes on the floor. Just lift your left heel and roll up and down like that. Otherwise, we're gonna roll up and down on one leg, on the right leg. Lower down, touch the floor, press into the right foot to lift up. Lower down, kiss the floor, and go. So it's a little bit like touch and go. Touch the floor and press. Touch the floor and press. Right? You definitely want to feel that right butt working. And your glute working there. Make sure you're not rolling out onto the pinky side of that right foot, right? Big toe on the block or rooting down. Last 3. Woo, hello glutes. Last 2. Last 1. Lower down. Place the left foot down. Put your block or book over to the left foot. You could also do this with both feet on the floor, right? The elevation just adds a little extra challenge. And then both feet down, lift the hips, parallel your pelvis to the floor, and then either just lift your right heel or lift the whole right foot. You're in a tabletop. And then lower down, kiss the floor, and press back up. Really rooting down into that left foot. Keep hugging the midline with both inner thighs, right? So don't let that left knee fall out to the left, right? You want to keep that really straight forward as you roll up and down. Make sure you're breathing. Feel that left glute working or burning. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Lower down. Nicely done. Stretch the right leg up, kick the block aside. Take a quick stretch for that hamstring. You can keep the left leg bent or straighten it, whatever feels better. And then take a figure 4, cross that right ankle over the left knee. Grab for your left shin or left thigh. And take a stretch for that glute, outer hip, outer glute. Take one more deep breath in, deep breath out. And then switch. Left leg up to the ceiling. First we'll stretch the hamstring. Grab wherever you can comfortably grab with your hands. Shoulders relaxed. Right leg can be long or bent. And then cross that left ankle over your right knee. Open the left knee away from you. Lift your right leg. Grab through the hole with your arms for the shin or for your thigh. And then pull that in a little bit. I like to rock gently side to side. You can do that if you like. Or just stay still. And then placing both feet on the floor. All right. We're going to come to lay on the side for a moment to wake up our side and the glute med a little bit. So take your block or a pillow or whatever you have to lay on your side for support for your head. So you want to feel like your neck is in line with your spine. Stack your hips, stack your shoulders, stack your knees. My knees are bent 90 degrees in front of my hip. And then take a moment, push your top hip away a little bit. So you feel your bottom ribs hovering off the floor, right? So that's what we want to keep, and then start to just lift and lower that top leg up to the ceiling and down. And here I want to keep my foot and my knee in one line more or less. So it's not clamshells right now, right? It's different. You keep the leg parallel as you lift and lower. Just warming up that outer hip a little bit here. Keep still thinking about drawing your ribs in, your belly in, right? Your bottom ribs are hovering off the floor. We have 3 more here. And 2. And 1. And then keep the leg just about hip height, just halfway. Now we'll loosen clamshells in the air. So you're going to turn out from your hip, turn your thigh bone out. And then come back to parallel, turn it in. So my knee points down, my foot points up. And then parallel and turn out. And you keep going, you're moving through parallel to internal rotation and external rotation. And you can use your top hand on the top hip to feel that that hip is not moving, right? The hip is still. Your leg bone, your thigh bone is rotating in your hip socket. And you keep the hips stacked, right? Don't let that top hip roll back or forward. Last 2. Ooh, you should feel your outer hip glute area here. And then come back center. Last thing, keep the leg parallel hip height. Kind of think about drawing your femur bone, your thigh bone back into the hip socket. And then make little circles. Little small circles in the air. Right? The smaller the better. Your knee kind of draws a circle in front of you. Ooh, and then go the other way with your circle. You should feel it burn. I certainly do. Last 3, 2, 1, and then stretch the leg long, lower it to the floor, take your top arm up and overhead. Take a big side stretch for the ribs, for the hip. And if you want to give yourself a little glute massage or a little tapping, you can do that too. So important, right? This muscle here for walking, for balancing, for life. And then we're gonna turn over to the other side. So you can just scooch over, pillow, block under the other side, and stack your hips, stack your knees and your shoulders right on top of one another. Knees bent, traction the top hip away, so your bottom ribs are hovering a little bit. And then just start to lift and lower that leg, that top leg. It's like a door hinge, right? Opening the door and closing the door. Keep that top leg really relaxed. The foot is dangling, right? I'm not pointing or flexing my foot. I just keep it heavy and relaxed, right? Notice if you're rolling that top hip back when you open the knee, try not to. Try to keep the hip stacked. Top hip stacked on the bottom hip, right? Last 3, last 2, last 1, and then keep it hip height. Start to turn out, and then parallel turn in, right? So really feel your femur bone, your thigh bone, or visualize it rotating in your hip joint, right? Turning in, turning out. And just go to your range, end range, right? Doesn't have to be big, it can be really small. Do what you can, keep breathing, right? Relax your jaw as you do that, your shoulders. Last 2, last 1. And then bring it back to parallel, keep it there, draw the femur bone back into the hip and make some small circles. Tiny circles, right? Like you're drawing, you had a pencil on your knee and you draw some small circle on a paper. And then go the other way with those circles. Woo! All right, last 3, 2, and 1. Stretch the leg long, lower it to the floor, and take your top arm overhead. You made it. Thank God we only have 2 sides, right? Only left and right. And then tap it out a little bit. Okay. And then from here, roll on or come up on to hands and knees. And it may feel nice to take a quick child's pose with your knees wide, your feet together, to stretch the outer hips a little bit. So you can stretch, sit back for a moment, stretch your arms forward. And then from here, come up to hands and knees, stack your shoulders over your wrists, your knees are under your hips. We'll take just a few cat-cows, just move your spine. So as you inhale, arch your spine, look forward, and then exhale, round and drop your head, pull your belly, your ribs up to the ceiling. Inhale, arch and lengthen. Exhale, flex and round. Just one more time. Move from your tailbone all the way up through the crown of your head. Right? Really moving vertebra by vertebra through the spine. And then find your neutral place where you're not rounding, you're not arching. Hands under the shoulders, spread your fingers. And then from here, tuck your toes, draw your belly button and your ribs in, and then hover your knees off the floor. Just an inch or 2. Stay there for a moment in your little short plank position, right? And then from here, can you lift your right foot an inch off the floor and step it down? Can you lift your left foot without rotating in your trunk, right? In your chest or in your hips, keeping everything still as you lift one foot at a time. Yeah. Last one. Last time the left. And then lower your knees for a moment. If you need to get off your wrists, you can. You could also do all of this on your forearms, by the way. If your wrists are bothering you, come down on your forearms. We're gonna add on, we go into a full plank. If that doesn't work for you, keep your knees bent or come down on forearms with the knees bent. Otherwise, stacking shoulders over wrists, belly hugging in, ribs hugging in. Step your right foot back, press the right heel back and shift your weight into that right foot without rotating your hips or your trunk. And then step your left foot back. You're in a plank pose. The legs are very engaged in a plank pose, right? It's not just upper body and core. You press your heels back, firming up the front of the legs. The glutes are working, so it's a full body exercise plank. Now, same thing. Can you lift your right foot just an inch? It's not about height. Point your foot, keep it there. Take a breath, and then slowly step it down. Lift your left foot just an inch. Point the foot and step it down. Again, right foot up. Keep your glutes engaged, your leg really engaged, right? Really long. Step it down, left foot. Belly is hugging in, ribs are hugging in. Don't let your head hang. Reach your head forward. Last time, right foot and left foot. Well done. And then lower your knees down. Sit back, relax for a moment. Relax the hands. You can open and close your fists a few times if you like. And then optional, if you want to move through a downward dog, just to stretch out the hips and legs for a moment, do that. Otherwise, come to a standing forward fold. And if you're in a down dog, maybe wiggle the hips a little side to side. Let your head shake out. And then walk your feet to your hands to your feet, and come to stand or hang over the legs. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Let your upper body hang for a moment. Let your head hang, your arms, your shoulders relax, your neck relax. And then press into your feet and start to roll yourself up, vertebra by vertebra, all the way up to stand. And roll your shoulders down your back. Good. Now, here's where we're gonna do some lunges. So if you want, you could use 2 light weights. I would say something between 1 and 3 pounds. If you want heavier weights, feel free. I have 3 pounds here. We're gonna do some lunges. So you can hold the weight in each hand or just go without. We're gonna start with the left leg staying still, and your right leg's gonna be your moving leg. We're gonna combine a lunge and some balancing. So tap your right foot on the floor next to the left. So most of my weight is in my left leg. And then you're gonna take a big step back with the right foot, coming into a 90-90 lunge. Right? Yeah, bending both knees, and then pushing to the front foot and come forward. Just do that a few more times. Your arms can come opposite arm forward, like you would run or walk, right? When my right foot goes back, my right arm comes forward. When my right foot comes forward, my left arm comes forward. Now, you could stay with these lunges, or if you want to add a balance, lift your right knee up in front of you. Step back, coming into lunge, and lift in front. Woo. It's a balancing act, right? So find something to look at straight in front of you, at the wall or wherever you are, something that is not moving, right? So you can focus on that. And you're breathing, focusing that left leg is mainly working, right? Even though I'm moving my right, it's the left leg that works. So really think about all four corners of that left foot pressing down. Straighten the leg fully. Good, last one. And then stay in your lunge. You can just hang your arms and just little ups and downs. Ups and downs, up and down. Think about that back knee going straight to the floor. Right? If you have issues with the knee, keep it a little more straight or make your stand a little smaller. Good. Think about that front foot pressing into the floor. Really firmly through that left foot. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step forward. Shake it out. All right, we got to do the other side. So your right leg's going to be standing. Left leg is going to move. So you're going to take a step back, bend your knees, and step forward. Right away, let your arms, opposite arm, move with the opposite leg. Right, so it's our natural walking pattern. Right, opposite arm forward. And just find your rhythm, find your focal point with your eyes. If you want to add the balance, lift your left knee up, super straighten that right leg, and step back. Straighten the right leg as you lift your left knee. Step back, and just keep moving in your own pace, keeping all four corners of that right foot rooted. Right, inner heel, outer heel, big toe, pinky toe side of the ball of your foot. So you're not rolling in or out on that foot. Are you breathing? The last 3. Pressing to that right foot to straighten the leg and lift the left knee. Last 2. Last 1. Step the left foot back. You can relax your arms by your side. Bend the back knee as much as you can. Think about dropping it straight to the floor and then little lifts and lowers. My torso is upright, right? I'm not leaning forward, so I'm upright. I want to think about mainly the front foot working, front leg working. Yeah, so last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then press into that front foot, step forward, and shake it out a little bit. Good. You can keep your weights or not. We'll finish up with some squats. Legs slightly turn out, a little bit wider than hip width. Sit your butt back and come up. So like you're sitting in a chair, right? Don't arch your spine. Keep your nut on the spine nice and long as you sit down. So my spine does not change when I'm doing a squat, right? My spine stays straight. I'm not arching and I'm not rounding. Good. We only have time for about 8 more here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. Last one, hold it down here, little lifts and lowers for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stand up. Put your weight aside. Come to stand, shake out the legs a little bit, shake out your arms. Well done. Do a little weight swing of your arms side to side. Let your weight shift from one leg to the other. Take your breath, let your breath release. And then come back. Just stand with your feet underneath you. Interlace your fingers, press the palms forward and up. Take one last big stretch. Lift yourself out of your hips, lengthen through the spine, through the waist, and then keep lengthening up through the whole spine as you release your arms. And you get a little taller, a little longer. Take one more breath in, and a big sigh out. Well done, everyone. It's quick and sweet. I hope you feel your legs a little tired and glutes. Have a wonderful day.